Well, that was one where I was talking to a friend and I said, I don't know what to write next. I was whining. And she said, oh, for God's sake, write something about the law. You are a lawyer, you know. Oh, okay. So you began to recall cases. There was one that she told me about, I didn't know about. There's a tiny little gravestone in Mount Pleasant Cemetery. It's, you know, about 2 feet by 2 feet, laid flat on the ground. It's not one of those wonderful marble mausoleums. And it says, Eliza Campbell, 1844 to 1910. And then underneath is carved, I did not commit adultery. And you still go, whoa! She's shouting very loudly from the grave. And it makes you want to unravel that story. And what it was at the time, 1870, 63, there's somewhere in there, she was a young woman from Whitby. She married a very dour Scot, very puritanical, who was convinced she was fooling around. She wasn't. And he spied on her and all of this. And the only way that you could get a divorce at that point was to take your case to Parliament. You had to have an act of Parliament. There was no divorce court.
Right.
So he accused her of criminal conversation, which means sleeping with somebody else.
Right.
And brought an action, won, because she had no right to call witnesses. That was how it worked at the time. And she countermanded with a suit for perjury and won that, saying, you're making it all up, you're lying. And the descriptions in the Whitby Chronicle, which still exist, are wonderful. You know, the band came out the night she won, on it went. And it's a wonderful story. She didn't change the law per se, but again, she put it on the table.